If your patient suddenly has an arrhythmia, muscle weakness, or confusion, you need to think electrolytes. Hey everyone, welcome back to PCU Prep. I'm Maya, and today we're breaking down electrolytes in a way that actually makes sense. No memorizing random numbers, just understanding what your patient is telling you. Stay with me. Alright, here's the big picture. Electrolytes control how your body functions. Your heart, your muscles, your brain, and the three you need to know: potassium, sodium, and calcium. If those are off, your patient will show you signs. You just have to know how to read them. Here's the rule I want you to remember. Potassium affects the heart. Sodium affects the brain. It controls your neurological function and fluid balance. Calcium affects muscles and contraction. If you remember that, you can answer most questions without guessing. Think of it like this: K ma cardiac, na ha neuro, ca ma contraction. That's your foundation. Alright, let's start with potassium. Remember, potassium affects the heart. So when potassium is off, your biggest concern is cardiac rhythm. And I want you to think of potassium like this: too much slows things down, too little makes things more irritable. Keep that idea in mind. Let's talk about high potassium, hyperkalemia. When potassium is high, everything slows down. So what do you see? Weakness, decreased reflexes, and most importantly, dangerous cardiac changes. Think peaked T waves on the ECG. And if it gets worse, you can see wide QRS and even cardiac arrest. So remember, high potassium, slow and dangerous. Now low potassium, hypokalemia. This is the opposite. Everything becomes more excitable, more irritable. So you might see muscle cramps, weakness, and cardiac arrhythmias. On ECG, flattened T waves and U waves. So think low potassium, shocker, irritable heart. That contrast will help you remember it every time. Alright, now let's talk about sodium. Remember, sodium affects the brain. So when sodium is off, your patient is going to show neurological symptoms. And here's the key concept. Sodium is all about water balance. Where water goes, sodium follows. So if sodium changes, fluid shifts in and out of cells, especially brain cells. That's why symptoms can get serious fast. Let's start with low sodium, hyponatremia. When sodium is low, water moves into the cells. That causes cells to swell, especially brain cells. So what do you see? Headache, confusion, lethargy, and in severe cases, seizures. So think low sodium, or swollen brain, or neurological symptoms. That's your big clue. Now high sodium, hypernatremia. This is the opposite. Water moves out of the cells, so now cells shrink, including brain cells. And what does that look like? Restlessness, irritability, confusion. And again, severe cases can lead to seizures. So think high sodium or dry shrunken brain. That contrast will help you remember it every time. Alright, last one, calcium. Remember, calcium affects muscles and contraction. So when calcium is low, you're going to see increased excitability. Think muscle cramps, tingling, even tetany. When calcium is high, everything slows down. Think weakness, decreased reflexes, sluggish muscles. So quick memory: low calcium, shows twitching; high calcium, shows sluggish. Wait, we can't forget the sneaky electrolyte, magnesium. Remember, magnesium controls neuromuscular stability. It's like the sheriff in town keeping everything in line. When magnesium is low, the sheriff is gone and things get wild. You'll see increased excitability, tremors, and even dangerous heart rhythms like torsades de pointe. On the ECG, look for that characteristic twisting of the points. It's a medical emergency. When magnesium is high, things are too chill, everything slows down. Lethargy, decreased reflexes, and even low respiratory rate. So think low means wild and twitchy. High too chill. That completes our foundation. Alright, let's put your knowledge to the test. Let's see how many of these you can get right. A patient presents with peaked T waves on the ECG. What electrolyte imbalance should the nurse suspect? A. Low potassium. B. High potassium. C. Low sodium. D. High calcium. The answer is B. High potassium, because peaked T waves are classic for hyperkalemia. Next question. A patient is confused and having seizures. Which electrolyte imbalance should the nurse suspect first? A. Low sodium. B. High potassium. C. High calcium. D. Low magnesium. The answer is A. Low sodium. Because sodium affects the brain, and low sodium causes swelling and neurological symptoms. Last one. A patient has muscle cramps, tingling, and signs of tetany. What electrolyte imbalance is most likely? A. High calcium. B. Low calcium. C. High sodium. D. Low potassium. The answer is B. Low calcium, because low calcium increases neuromuscular excitability. Quick rapid fire before we go. Potassium, schackt heart. High potassium, schackt slow. Low potassium, schackt irritable. Sodium, to brain. Low sodium, chenas, swollen brain. High sodium, chas, shrunken brain. Calcium, jack muscles. Low calcium, jack twitching. High calcium, to sluggish. Lock that in. You've got this, future nurse. And that's electrolytes. Simplified. If this topic ever felt confusing before, I hope it finally makes sense now. Drop in the comments, which electrolyte do you struggle with the most? And if this helped you, like, subscribe, and share with a nursing friend. Next up, we're diving into EKG basics, and I'm going to make that just as simple. I'll see you in the next one.